Hey guys, Erpal here. I want to show you a cool little trick. We can create what's called an emphasis de-emphasis EQ pair. How is that useful? Well, we can put something that's driven by gain, something that changes with the amount of gain it's given, such as a saturator or a compressor in between the two, and we can kind of choose how that's going to sound, its tonal characteristics. So let me first play you the sound source that we're using, the bass sound. Cool. And then if I turn this on, and let's say I have the saturator in between, then it's going to sound different depending on what frequency I pick. So let's listen to that. So it's kind of a cool little trick. And so what's happening exactly? So if we turn off whatever is in between the saturator, then we have two EQs and they have the same frequency and the same bandwidth, and they have an inverse gain. And so what's happening is actually each EQ creates its own phase shift, but they're equal and opposite in their phase shift. So actually, they completely null out in every way possible. If I just listen to the bass and then I turn this on with nothing in between, it's absolutely 100% exactly the same. And I won't show you, but it passes the null test as well because the phase shift that this is creating, and obviously the boost as well, is being completely nullified by the inverse phase that this is creating. So that's important to remember. It makes a big difference. And that means that we can put anything in between, and the phase that shift this creates and the boost as well is going to be completely nullified by the after. So then the only thing that's changing is that we're driving more of the mid range in this example, or if I had it in the lows, then the low end into the saturator. So how do we set this up? So let's just get rid of this completely, and we'll do from the start. So if we come over here, we can add in an audio effect rack, okay? And then we can add in a couple EQs. And you could do this with any EQ, but I'll just do this with the stock one so it's easy. If I click this button, it's gonna pop out the chain. We'll just call this EQ for now. And then all you need to do is duplicate this EQ within the same chain. And then if you open up this macro button, I'm going to start mapping some things. So just for simplicity's sake, you could do this with as many parameters as you want, but let's just do it with one. So we're going to turn off all of these. Okay. And we'll switch these to bell. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to click this little map button, and then I'm going to map, let's say the frequency to the first selector, and then I'll map let's actually do Q next. So I'll map the Q to the second selector, also known as frequency. It calls it resonance. And then we'll map the gain last. I'll show you why we're doing that last. So if I map the gain, now we have, you can see here, two gains have been linked from the two EQs. Now we'll take the gain from the second EQ and we'll flip these. So we'll set the min to the max and the max to the min. And now if we click the map button again to stop mapping and we move that gain value, that's inversely linked. And everything else is not inversely linked. It's linked normally. So we can change the Q value how we want. We can change this how we want. Only caveat to this is you have to use the macro knobs you've just mapped. You can't change parameters over here. They wouldn't follow in the same way. So now you have your two. It really is that easy. And then all you need to do is put some kind of a saturator in the middle, or even a compressor, or you could have a tape emulator as a form of saturation. Anything that is going to change its characteristic based on its input. Some things wouldn't, like a chorus really wouldn't, or a lot of digital plugins don't really change their nature based on the amount of signal they're given, unless you're clipping it, of course. But so that's it. And it is that simple. And then you could crank this up to wherever you want. And something to think about is this is not multi-band processing. So I'm not only affecting, like if I do this, I'm not only affecting the mid range. It's just that I'm pushing the mid range harder into the saturator or into the compressor or whatever is being driven by gain. And that's going to change the tonal characteristics. So it's still affecting everything. It's just you're kind of choosing what's being affected the most. So it's a cool thing to play with. Try it out, have some fun, and I hope you guys got something out of this.